Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Sparkles here, and I'm doing two videos back to back. I need to get these videos up. It'll be in the morning. As I'm reading this, it's 1:09 a.m. I'm bored. Before I go to bed, I'd rather read to y'all than anything. So I'm reading part 6 of My Dad Told Me to Never Go Into the Basement. So yeah, my hair, I pulled it up like this. Don't ask me why. I like it like this. Okay, so before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell button down below. Okay, so like I always say, our goal is 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to hit that mark. So tell your friends, tell everybody, your church fellow members, everything. I have to be quiet because people are in the bed. So let's get on to the video. I am in the town library above ground, which is essential. Whatever is haunting me, like me, seems to appear only when I'm underground. 2 days ago, it appeared as a normal woman who could claim my sister. But I have no sister. I was lost, surrounded by pieces of a puzzle that had no shape. My dad built the basement, the place that consumed him in the end. Why can't I remember him doing anything? I remember before there was one, and then after. During that time, I have no memory, a blank slate, yet another memory encased within a deep recess of my mind, yet hiding beneath layers of repression. What am I protecting myself from? I get an idea as I lie in the damp, dark, stale air of my motel room. I'm searching through boxes full of old newspaper, pile upon pile of faded pulp, with dark black ink running off of my fingers. The library is quiet, almost interminably so, the kind that stills the air, makes you twist your head around and check behind your shoulder. Our age of technology has re-rendered this precious resource a forgotten relic. I doubt this library is ever busy. I can hear faint ticking noises coming from the wall clock, the shuffling of books being sorted by the young man at the front desk, the soft coughing coming from the woman reading through a huge pile of large-spined, dusty novels in the corner. The only other person in the library is not an employee. I am growing paranoid. I thoroughly inspected her as I passed by, thinking for the brief moments that it was back, that I wasn't safe anywhere, that this woman would raise her head from her pile of books, and all of my nightmares would come pouring out of her face. But she appeared normal, throwing a suspicious glare my way when I lingered for too long. I'm sorry. I meant lingered. I muttered an apology and set to work, hoping to find some clue amongst the dusty history of the town. First of all, I love libraries. I love books. I love the smell of books. That is one thing about me that y'all will love. If I don't read on my phone, I will have a book reading to you. I have 2 books over there that I wanted to get done last year, but I didn't get to, and I have to return them. But I will read them to you if y'all want me to. I might just do it. The sun is disappearing, its rays gasping through the window. As they slowly die, the overhead lights burst into life. The large open room is bathed in a soft yellow hue. I am on a raised level, a few steps up from the main floor. 6 free-standing shelves are in the middle, reserved for historical records in almost every issue of the town newspaper ever printed. I pressed on. There are a dozen of boxes, each containing hundreds of thin, flattened newspapers that date back decades before I was born. Thankfully, they're in some semblance of an order, but organized by only a year. Days and weeks and months are in random order, which makes search tedious. I fold back page after page, looking at the months before my father died. My dad is a constructor, a seminal figure in the community. He helped build half of the town's businesses on the main street. He probably had over a dozen people working for him. He could not have dug out our basement alone. He had help. And I am looking for pictures, something that will lead me to a person who actually knew the man. The town newspaper loved announcing a new build, especially during the early years. I knew that sometime during the month surrounding August, there was a picture of my dad with the mayor or someone else important standing in front of a wooden frame and construction workers. He had just bought a new contract for some kind of industrial building. I would stare for hours at the large blueprints plastered over his workstation. Okay. I don't notice it at first. I am too engrossed in my task, my focus too intense. Only when I find what I'm looking for, when I raise my head in triumph as the picture I have been seeking comes between my fingers, do I see that the library is empty. The young man at the front desk is gone. The woman buried in her pile of books is gone. The ticking noises from the wall clock have stopped. I am frozen, unable to breathe. Not because the library has been abandoned. If someone is standing behind me, throwing hot breath on my neck. Sorry, but I'm sorry. I'll be running with that paper in my hand gone. My ear is just... The sound is gruntal. Primal. So that's what it's supposed to sound like. Slow, controlled breathing. There is a wet, raspy noise coming out with each breath. I can't seem to muster the courage to do anything. I can't move my leg. I can't turn around. I can't speak. I am simply hoping, against hope, that I survive, willing whatever is behind me to go away. I close my eyes, try and think of something good. My father, his strong, calloused hands passing me a plate of eggs for breakfast. My mother smiling as she kisses his cheek at the table. My brother laughing as my father makes a funny face, his tongue twisting out of his mouth and cheeks puffed. It is the last breakfast we had together as a family. I open my eyes, clench my fist. I have had enough. I whip around, screaming as I do so, my war cry. My hands are out in front of me, fists balled up and ready for the world. Nothing. Nobody is there. That would piss me off. Nothing was there, but something was breathing on my neck. Honey, no. I yell out of frustration. A billowing groan that comes from all the pain and fear that I have felt since that first night my dad whispered into my ear, "Don't go into the basement." I am quick in my next movements. I grab the newspaper that has a picture of my father on the front page. I throw it into my backpack and run out of the library, almost knocking over the young man who was at the front desk. He yells out at me as I hustle to my car. I catch the words "closed" as I shut the door and sit behind the wheel. Take a deep breath, pull the newspaper out, and stare at the picture. The memory I have of my father, especially during that night, during the last breakfast, makes what I see in that picture all more jarring. I'm stunned. The man who I'm looking at is not the man I remember. He stands there, his large chest and broad shoulders towering over the mayor as they pose in front of a construction project. His arms are like steel grinders, strewn and hard. A beaming white smile is plastered on his face, a man full of life and vigor. I think back to those last days. He was so frail looking, his arms weary and skeletal, as he passed the plate of eggs across the table. My ear cannot catch a break. His skin pale and pock-marked. As his tongue hung out of his mouth, Mom had to help him up sometimes. I remember how his legs would wobble and his face would scrunch up in pain as he tried to get off the couch. That is so sad. I can't believe what I am seeing in this picture. My father died on a hot summer night in August. This picture is dated in May of that very same summer. What happened during those months? I'm trying to think of possibilities as I pull into the parking lot of my motel. I'm so immersed in my own thoughts I didn't notice the door is unlocked as I turn the knob and walk into my room. I threw the newspaper down onto the bed and strip off my clothes. I step into the bathroom and flip the light switch, but nothing happens. I'm too tired to call the front desk to come fix it. I leave the door open to let the light in from the main room. The cheap, dull yellow light creeps into the tiny bathroom, but the door is open inwards, so it blocks almost letting the light from reaching in the shower. My bathroom is just like this, actually. It's creepy. I can barely see through. Oh, sorry. Inward, so it blocks almost. Okay, from reaching the I can't bear the thought of closing the door and being plunged into darkness yet again, so I open the mirrored medicine cabinet above the sink and try to reflect some light into the shower. The effect works only slightly, but enough to make me a little more comfortable. But mine don't open like this. It opens like that to the wall instead of to the door. I wrench the cheap plastic opaque curtains open and see the man standing in my shower. I yell out, taking a step back, only to slip on the cold tile, crashing onto my back and hitting my head on the floor. I ignore the pain and look in the shower. I laugh as I realize it is only my shadow. Me. Paranoid like that. Especially if I watch like a horror movie. Like being projected onto the wall. I took a deep breath and tried to relax. The incident at the library, whether real or imagined, has me on edge. If I am not safe above ground, maybe I'm not safe anywhere. I get up from off the floor and step into I get up from the floor and step into the shower. I turn on the water and close the curtain, which is transparent enough so I don't lose too much of the light. Sorry, my ear keeps itching. Like for my hair, it's like my hair is touching it, but it's not. The cleanse is just what I need. I stand there, the surprisingly forceful hot water crashing onto my hair and rolled down my body. I feel the day's events washing off of me, a torrent of torture trickling down the drain. I think about the picture of my brother standing beside the mayor. I smile because I also think about the man standing on the other side of my father in that picture, his crew chief, his right-hand man. They were not very social, but I remember my dad on the phone talking to him all the time. The man would call our house long after supper. They were not very social, but I remember my dad on the phone talking to him all the time. Okay. Sorry, I lost my place. The man would call our house long after supper. Sometimes I would beat my brother to the phone and talk all grown up using Mr. and Mrs. and thank you, please. And he would laugh and ask my dad. My dad. The mayor is long dead. Can't give me any answers, but I am betting against my instruction nature and assuming he's still alive. I'm completely forgotten about him until I saw that picture. I have memory flashes, small pieces that run through my head, a particular inflection in the tone of his voice. He is in a hard hat, waving to my dad as they walk home together. He came over for dinner once or twice, always talked shop, as my mom would say. And now I have a name, thanks to the caption on that picture. For the first time in a long time, I am hopeful that I have a lead, something intelligible. I smile, lost in the memories of better days. The light shifts, darkens for a split second. I take no notice. Then I hear the sound of a closing door. At first I think it's next door. Those walls are cheap and thin. Then I feel a draft that rolls in, waving the curtain ever so softly. Someone's in my room. Somebody's in my attic right now, walking around. Oh, please stop. It's creepy. I just felt a cold air. Paranormal sitting in. I don't do what I should. I don't rip open the curtains and confront whatever is out there. Instead, I cower and whimper. The water drowning me in fear and shame. I turn it off. I could turn it off, but I don't want the silence. I don't want it to hear what I heard in the library. It was inhuman. A sound I can never have even thought existed. I stand still. The hot water is running out. I begin to shiver. I close my eyes and count 1 Mississippi. My eyes wrench open when I hear it. The unmistakable sound of something dragged down the plastic curtain. My hand pawing at the slim sheet, working its way up and down like it's trying to find an opening, or maybe just enjoys taunting me. The anger comes again, like a rolling tide. Whatever this thing is, has had every opportunity to take me, to drag me away, and rip the soul from my body. I am my father's son, but I won't go down like him. I rip the curtain open. Nothing. I run to the living room and burrow through the outside, but there's nobody there. I look left and right to but the place is deserted. The only sound is coming from the television at the front desk. Suddenly aware that I am naked, I quickly shut the door and get dressed. I can't stay at that motel. Can't stay anywhere. I'm about to leave when I reach down and grab the newspaper. Instead, I only grab bed sheets. The newspaper is gone. Awkward. I'm driving. My car is the only place I feel safe now. Someone stole the newspaper from my room, or something. Trying to stall me. That's the words. Trying to stall me. Cause my interest to wane. That don't even make sense. Okay. I called information for the name of my dad's right-hand man and started driving, despite what happened in the motel room. I remember everything about that picture. Whatever is in front of my face or not, if this man is still alive, I'll recognize him. The operator gave me an address. But for all I know, the place has been abandoned. I look around the neighborhoods as I drove and see that many of the houses have become extinct, dappled, and weathered. Shutters falling off their hinges, dead grass scaring the lawns, every vine trailing up a weather vane. A reminder of the cool, relentless nature that comes with neglect. The address is bringing me somewhere on the outskirts of town. The orange hue from the light pollution of the town fades and the sky opens up. I think back to the nights my father and I would lay in the fields beside our house, outside our house, and he would try and show me the constellation. I would be impatient, not caring about the dying light in the sky, wanting more than anything to leave him there and go back inside. How much I would go back and ask him about Virgo and Sagittarius. Sagittarius. I'm saying it wrong, but it's okay. Tell him to point out the Big Dipper and how to follow the North Star. The memory is a cool thing, something that gnaws at the very core of me. I know how to follow the North Star, but why? I find the house and am somewhat surprised when I see that at least one person seems to live there. It's a big farmhouse at the end of a long, narrow dirt driveway. As I turn into it, I can see tracks dug by large farm equipment. The house's black shadow even against the night sky. But there are several illuminated windows that cut bright yellow squares in the darkness. I pull up to the house, and I'm sitting there, trying to figure out what to say when the front door bursts open, and a large shadow steps out from the light of the house. Open? I open my car door when I hear an unmistakable sound of a gun being cocked. It sounds like a hunting rifle my father kept above the couch during the years when deer tore our fields up. The car is still running, and the headlamps from my car throw two white beams into the fields surrounding the farm. A grizzled man steps in front of them, and I know immediately that I'm in the right place. He looks exactly the same he'd have stepped out of the picture and right in front of me, my car. I am speechless. Even as he points the rifle at me and screams at me to identify myself, I manage to stammer out my name. Forgetting all my plans, a fake name. I don't carry the same last name as my father, but I can still see a flicker of recognition passed across his face, but it's gone as quickly as it came. He kept the rifle leveled at my head as he asked to state my business. By the tone of his voice, I don't need him to tell me what will happen if I don't have a good reason to be there. In the car ride here, I thought about honesty, telling him the whole story. Everything has been happening to me, hoping that he has an open mind, that he sees something in me to make him believe. But I don't. I managed to convince him that I want to buy the property. I asked him to forgive the late hour, but he was the last stop in the series of properties that I was evaluating. I'm not sure he buys it completely, but he apologizes for the rude welcoming and invites me in regardless. The wind blowing across his driveway is cold and biting at my exposed skin, so I welcome the shelter. Maybe he does. Believe me, he seems very enthusiastic about my presence. As he tells me to make myself at home, he goes to fix his coffee. I am sitting on a plush leather love seat, lost in a daze. The long nights are taking their toll. He comes out from the kitchen with 2 mugs of steaming hot black coffee. Very aware of how tired I am, I take the warm mug gracefully and thank him. As he sits down with his own coffee, I find it very difficult to stop staring at him. I was expecting a man withered and enrobed by the wind in the sun of the open field, not the man who sits down in front of me, someone who looks younger than my dad did when he died. They are practically the same age. He looks back over me, his dark brown eyes drinking my face in. We sit staring in silence for a few minutes, the only sound coming from me boiling on the hot coffee. I try to think of something to say. I can't find any words. I look around for pictures on the wall, framed memories of his life. Anything that I could latch onto for conversations. But there are none. The bitter coffee stings my throat as I turn my head every way to find a place to be surprisingly empty. Only a few pieces of furniture are scattered against the large open room. There are no decorations or pictures on the walls. And then everything stops. I see something that turns my blood cold. In the corner of the room are stairs that lead down to a basement. They are identical to mine. The location, the sides of the stairs, the wood used, everything is the same. I stand up. My breathing is shallow. The room is spinning as anxiety takes over my body. No, not anxiety. Something is wrong. I look over and see him smiling. The last thing I see before my head hits the floor is his mouth opening. You look just like him. Okay guys, so I will do part 7 tomorrow. Hopefully that was the end of part 6. Oh my god. That would freak me out though. You look just like him. Okay guys, so I will see you in the next video. Bye.